Update. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to name our son after wife's dead brother? Original post. I'm sorry for the length. I didn't know a good way to shorten this without leaving out anything important. I was directed here upon the advice of a friend after this issue escalated to a huge argument approximately 3 hours ago that resulted in me leaving our home to go to a buddy's house. I am still here and unsure how to go about resolving this with my wife. I, 28 male, and my wife, 26 female, have been together for 10 years and married for 4 of those. My wife is pregnant with our first child, a boy, and she is due in early July. Now on to the issue that has arisen. My wife wants to name our son after her brother, who passed a little over a year ago. Her brother, we'll call him Ted, was her only sibling and they were very close growing up, as they were only 2 years apart. However, her brother was not the most pleasant person. Her brother was a drug addict starting from age 14 to 15. He stole from everyone around him, including myself and my wife. He was abusive to every one of his partners and his child, and he served several years behind bars. Ted was also abusive to my wife and her parents. He had a stay-away order from our home because he broke in while we were away and stole our TV, my wife's jewelry box, and one of my hunting rifles. Ted passed last year in April from a drug overdose, and it affected my wife very deeply. It was her first major loss, and she still attends therapy to help cope. When we found out we were having a boy, she immediately wanted the name to be Ted's name. I heavily disagreed, and I have offered many replacements, other family names like her father or grandfather's, but she will not budge. She wants our son to have the exact same name as her brother, first and middle. She has even gone as far as to say that if we name him something else, she will have it changed, or only call him by Ted. My final straw was when my wife ordered a blanket with Ted's name sewn into it for our son. I blew up, and I told her I was not naming our child after a drug addict who took advantage of everyone around him. My wife blew up at me. She screamed at me to leave, threatened to call the police if I didn't. She called me a piece of turd for talking about her dead brother like he was trash. I did leave. I told her I would attempt to speak to her again about this once we had both calmed down, and I apologized for speaking about Ted in a negative way. I'm getting calls nonstop from her family, calling me names for speaking about Ted and not wanting to honor him by naming our son after him. My family's on my side, her family's on her side, and my friends are split on the matter. So Reddit, strangers on the internet, I need your opinion on if I am indeed a massive a-hole for not wanting this name for our child. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole. Naming someone after an abusive family member is never a good idea, especially if you both can't agree on it. Especially if she wants him to have the exact same first plus middle name as him. I could understand one or the other, but both seems like she's almost trying to replace him. I have tried to approach that with her, but she is very adamant that she is only trying to honor her brother's legacy. I would be willing to give our son Ted's middle or first name, but she is refusing. She wants both, and she is a force to be reckoned with. Don't you and your wife want your son to have a clean slate? Why put the burden of someone else on a newborn child like that? I get the phrase, although I don't necessarily agree, do not talk ill of the dead. But you also shouldn't angelicize the dead either. Imagine when your kid can talk and he asks who he's named after. Well, son, you're named after your drug addict uncle. Can I have a story about him? Ho, this one time he needed money for drugs, so he broke in and stole our TV. Haha, such an incurable trickster that one. Like, what the actual hell? Can you imagine what that could do to the psyche of a child? He should have the chance to determine his own identity. If your wife wants to honor him, there are better ways. Your son is not a replacement or chance of redemption for the failed life of her brother. This is not a unilateral decision. Not the a-hole. I don't know why no one brought this up already, but naming their son the exact same name as her brother, he's gonna grow up in the brother's shadow. I really hope your wife and her family don't try to use your son as a replacement for the person they lost. That is what I've worried about. Considering she wants the first and middle name, our son would have the same exact name as Ted. Ted's own son was not even named after him, so I also worry how it would affect the relationship between the cousins. Now for first update 3 months later. Hello internet humans. Not sure if any of you remember my first post a few months back, but I just logged on and saw I had a few messages, so I figured I would post an update. Sorry in advance for the length. So, if you recall in my first post, my wife and I were expecting a baby boy in early July, and our conflict was occurring over my wife wanting to name our son after her late brother. We got into a huge fight. Some names were called and threats were made, and I was led to this subreddit to ask advice and opinions of internet strangers. Well, a week after the post, I sat down with my wife, and we had a very long and difficult conversation. She broke down and admitted she was struggling more than she let on with the loss of her brother, and she told me she felt uncomfortable talking to me about it due to my feelings toward him and how he lived his life. I was devastated to say the least. I have never felt like such a horrible partner. I was selfish. I failed to see him as anything more than his mistakes, and I failed to support my wife through his death. It was a long talk with lots of tears, and we both agreed to be more open in the future and less judgmental. We started attending therapy together less than 2 weeks after that, and we have been going ever since, once a week. It was rough at first, but it has helped tremendously in dealing with the bumps in the road of marriage. As for our son, we came to an agreement on a name after lots of long discussions. A first name we both adored, and her brother's middle name, just spelled differently. A good compromise for both of us, and it was my son's own name that no one before him had carried. We were both happy. Then, on July 3rd, 2022, my wife delivered a beautiful, healthy, 8-pound baby girl. To say that we were shocked would be an understatement. My daughter came home the next day, and since then I am still in awe of how we created something so perfect. We didn't figure out a name until she was a week old, but I am happy to share that Eleanor Shea is what we came up with. We are still adjusting to life with an infant, but so far it has been nothing short of amazing. Thank you for your past advice, internet friends and strangers. Mom and dad fighting over a boy's name. Child in womb, this is bad. Hold my beer. I read this type of an already rare mistake almost never happens because it's easier to, well, miss something that is there rather than see something that isn't there. Moral of this story, wait to learn the sex of your baby at birth LOL. Congratulations OP. Yes, even my wife's doctor was shocked, and the nurses when we told them as well. We definitely went through all the ultrasound pictures going, so that isn't, I guess that's a foot? And that kinda looks like. Legit burst out laughing, so happy that you and your wife were able to communicate with each other, only for the cause of this whole fight to become irrelevant. Love that for you. Yes, it was absolutely hilarious to us when we got over the shock, and it's definitely going to be a story I tell our daughter when she is old enough. That's my feeling too. All that fuss and it's irrelevant. I'm also glad that the new parents are talking and having some hard conversations, and OP has, I hope, learned that dead people are often way more than the sum of their mistakes to the people who love them. Yes, I was blinded by my own feelings and judgments. Having a baby has made me realize that he was also once a sweet, innocent baby, a playful child, and a silly preteen. He was not always bad. Second update 1 year later. I am just here to vent my frustrations and scream into the void about my current situation. I can't talk to anyone in my personal life about this. My wife is cheating on me. My wife is cheating, and she has been for the past 2 months. I just don't understand. I don't even know where to start to begin to understand. We have a beautiful home, stable careers. We're not financially struggling, no drug or alcohol abuse. We attend therapy together. Our daughter is healthy, perfect. Our 6-year wedding anniversary is 3 months from tomorrow. We've been together 11 years. I have spent the last 2 days examining everything about us under a microscope, trying to find a crack. Where I went wrong? When did she become unhappy? When did this life, our life, become unsatisfactory for her? For her to step outside of our marriage with some random guy she met on Facebook? For her to throw our family away? I just don't understand. I found out on Monday, completely by chance. My daughter's tablet was dead. I grabbed my wife's iPad so she could watch her nighttime videos and go to sleep. Wife isn't home right now. She's on a trip and won't be back for another 4 days. I keep hearing message notifications dinging on her iPad while my daughter has it, so I took it to turn it on silent, only to see a man's name I didn't recognize with a little winky face next to it. I went through everything. They've done it all. Met up, spent the night together, went on dates. They even have a romantic cruise planned for next month. The same cruise she told me was a bachelorette trip with one of her friends. All of these outings that I encouraged. She told me they were with friends. I encouraged her. I was so proud she was getting out there and becoming more social, since she expressed motherhood made her feel like a recluse. And after digging a little deeper, all of these new friends she's been out with don't even exist. All lies. They are characters she's created to continue her relationship with this man. I feel like a complete and total idiot. I never second-guessed a lie she fed me. I gave her my 100% trust. We've been doing couples therapy for a year. We communicate, we go on dates, we get each other gifts. Our sex life was great. I never, not even for a second, would have suspected this. I don't know how to confront her with this. I don't want this. I don't want to split up our home. But I know that this isn't something therapy can fix. I know myself well enough to know I'll never be able to trust her again. Do I just let go? Let her go be with this man who clearly makes her happier than I can? My entire existence is intertwined with her. How do I even begin to untangle that and separate? I have 4 more days to sit and overthink this. I genuinely don't know what to do. You have 4 days for a lawyer to draw up your divorce papers. At least have them ready and show them to her. Doesn't mean you have to follow through, but be ready to kick her to the curb. Thank you for the advice. Calling a lawyer tomorrow. Also, look this guy up on Facebook and see if he is married or in a relationship. If he is, then get his significant other's Facebook and send her the evidence you have from your wife's iPad the moment she walks through the door. Then sit your wife down and ask her which friend she's going on the cruise with again. When she says, whatever fake name, stop her and say, don't you mean with guy's name? And hand her printouts of their entire conversation as well as the divorce papers. Hopefully, you live in an at-fault state, so she gets nothing in the divorce. Oh, and make sure the divorce papers already have custody arrangement worked out for your child. Screenshot everything while you can. Sorry you are going through this. Get copies of all evidence that she can't access or delete to save your reputation, and because it may be needed in legal matters. Don't chase her or try to change her. If you know yourself and this is a deal breaker, there's no need to inform her yet. Get an appointment with a lawyer, or several, and get the best advice on divorce and what to do to protect yourself financially and regarding child custody. It is unfortunately common in these situations for the spouse you once knew to become combative, make false accusations of abuse, wipe money from accounts, or try to take custody rights. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Trust me. I know this doesn't make sense, but she's not the person you knew. Like a cornered animal, cheaters will do anything to save their reputation and avoid accountability for their actions. Do not confront, prepare and execute to your advantage based on your lawyer's advice. Please keep us updated. There is much advice that can be given as you move through this difficult process. Do not accept her trying to blame her actions on you. This is all her. She had options that didn't involve cheating. She clearly doesn't respect you or care about the damage this will cause you or your child. Your wife has been deliberately lying to you, having sex with and being romantic with another man. It's time for you to take your power back and show your value as a man. Thank you everyone for the advice. I am trying to keep up with comments and will eventually reply to everyone. Since posting and reading the comments, I've been working on getting all the messages, pictures, and videos into a folder on my personal computer. I went through our home cameras and found that she's had him at our house several times, either picking her up or them swimming, amongst other things, in our pool together. The more I find, the sicker I feel. I have a lot of phone calls to make in the next few days and an appointment to get screened for STIs. I do want everyone to rest assured my daughter is mine. We had a DNA test done when she was an infant to screen for hereditary diseases I carry. I'm going to reach out to my parents and fill them in so they can babysit while I handle this for the next few days. Third update a month later. I posted here almost a month ago venting my frustrations about discovering my wife's affair, and I received a magnitude of comments and messages filled with advice and kind words. For that, I thank everyone who took the time to comment or write me, and I'm sorry for anyone who related to my situation. I'm here with somewhat of an update, but mostly more venting. My life is upside down and it feels good to get it all out somewhere. Sorry if a lot of this is rambling, and sorry for the length. After making my post, I took everyone's advice and gathered up all evidence and contacted lawyers in my area. I found a really great one and went ahead and started on divorce papers before my wife got home. I also got tested for STIs and told my parents and best friend about the situation. I took my daughter to my parents so I could have the alone time to mentally prepare myself to face my wife with this discovery. I rage cleaned a lot and cried a lot those last 2 days before she got back. I packed some of her stuff, then unpacked it and cried more. I had planned to lay out all the screenshots along with the divorce papers on our dining room table and just sit and wait for her, but I didn't get the chance to do that. She was supposed to get home later in the afternoon on Sunday, but she ended up getting back around 6:30 that morning. She didn't call or text in hopes of surprising me. I was up drinking coffee, and you guessed it, crying, when she walked into the house. I didn't greet her. I just went and got the folders of evidence and the divorce papers and gave them to her. I don't remember anything she said that day, but I just said I knew I wanted a divorce, and I would keep the house as it was in my name solely. It hurt a lot. I wanted to hug her, but also scream at her. Lots of tears from her, lots of yelling at me. I didn't say anything. I told her we could discuss it at length with lawyers present once she accepted the situation and calmed down. I think someone called it gray wall in the comments of my last post. Not entirely sure, but I tried my best to do that and not show emotion or argue with her. It was really hard, the hardest thing I hope I'll ever have to do. She betrayed me, but I still felt awful making her cry. She left that day with some clothes and personal belongings and went to her parents. My parents and best friend came to stay with me and my daughter. I had my lawyer arrange a meeting between us to discuss custody, belongings, money, everything, that following Tuesday. Well, Monday I got a call from my clinic to come in to review results of STI tests, and as it turns out, her parting gift to me is HSV2. I cannot describe in words how angry, sad, and shattered I am. I'm still accepting it. I don't think I have yet, but I am working on it. I know it's common, very common, and it's not going to kill me, but it doesn't make it suck any less. I joined a support group on Facebook. Those people are great. Going into Tuesday with that knowledge was awful. I felt so much shame bringing that up in front of not only her, but both of our lawyers. I knew if I tried to discuss it with her privately, it wouldn't go well, not with the amount of anger and sadness I had in my system. She never apologized. She was a different person that day. I felt like I was looking into the eyes of a complete stranger. No emotion whatsoever. Divorce-wise, everything is cut and dry. We separated finances, the house is mine, and we are just waiting the 90 days for it to finalize. There were no objections on her end except one. She wants to terminate her parental rights over our daughter. I say wants. She is terminating rights, at least trying to. She doesn't want her anymore. Our daughter, our baby. I was freaking blindsided. I'm still blindsided. My daughter is one, but she loves her mama. Mama was her first word. She is one. It's been 3 weeks, and the pain I have felt, the pain for my daughter, for my family, has been indescribable. I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know what changed or when it changed, but it terrifies me. I feel like my entire life was pulled out from under me. I haven't talked to her, per my lawyer's advice, and my own fear of what I would say. She hasn't seen our daughter. She told me that day she didn't want to. She didn't want any pictures from our home, any memories, just her clothes and electronics. I don't understand any of it. I don't think I ever will. We have to go to court for her petition to terminate rights, and I don't want to look at her. I just can't accept this as reality right now, not after everything. I'm trying as hard as I possibly can to keep a positive outlook and be strong for my family and my baby, but this has been so hard. I hope a year from now I can look back and say, I survived that, but right now it feels impossible to even see next week. I'm not suicidal, so don't take it as that. I'm just emotionally, mentally, and physically demolished. Absolutely demolished. Fourth update 8 months later. Hi there. For anyone who has messaged me and for the loads of comments I have received regarding my past venting on this account, apologies first off. I genuinely kind of forgot I had it. Not much of a Reddit guy, but I've been getting into TikTok lately and saw a video about a super depressing Reddit story and remembered my own super depressing Reddit story LOL. It's been around 8-ish months since I posted here about my upside down situation, and a lot of people messaged me in that time wanting to know how I was and what unfolded. I really appreciate you strangers for all the kind messages. It genuinely means a lot, and I'm sorry I haven't replied or anything. My life has been such a whirlwind these past few months. It's hard to believe that was that long ago. To sum up the sad stuff, first off, my divorce was finalized without any hiccups or holdups. I'm still in the process of trying to sell our old house, but in the meantime, we moved to a new state. My ex is still in the process of petitioning for termination of parental rights. I've only seen her 3 times since moving, and it has been to fly out for court. I was granted temporary full custody in the process, per her request and suggestion, and she was not mandated any visitation and has denied any offer of it. She has not seen my daughter in 7 months. She has requested not to. I don't know what else she's been up to, or if she is still with her boyfriend or not. Since the divorce, it has been in the best interest of my mental health to keep contact as minimal as possible, and she has done the same. I have offered many chances for her to visit with my daughter, whether it be video calls or flying out, and before we moved, I asked weekly, but it was always a no. Her parents still video call with my daughter, and we are hoping they can fly out over summer and spend some time with her. They've been cut off by my ex as well. I'm not sure what changed, but I can't change it back, and I am mostly accepting it. I wish her well in all future endeavors. Now for the happy stuff that has happened. Firstly, I am a proud Arizonan now. Never saw myself moving here, but we have loved it so far. My parents packed up and came with us, and I don't think I've ever seen them so happy. My daughter is doing amazing. She will be 2 years old in July, and she is the smartest, funniest toddler I've ever met. She knows her ABCs, can count to 20 without help, loves animals and bugs especially. Thinks farts and a cow mooing are the definition of comedy, and she doesn't know it, but she has been my biggest motivator to heal from this whole ordeal and be my best self. Like, I genuinely don't know how I helped make such an awesome kid. The more her personality grows, the more in awe I am of just how cool she is. I could talk for days about her, so I'll cap it here before this ends up being a Harry Potter-length post LOL. As for myself, I'm in therapy and have been throughout these 8 months, and I'm in a much better headspace. I'm working on getting back on top of my health, as I did put on about 30 stress pounds. I'll get there eventually, but I'm not sweating it too much. I have not dated or tried to, and I don't think I will anytime soon. I've adjusted to being a single parent pretty okay for the most part. I credit that to my family and friends more than anything, because they have been a huge support system throughout this. There are still really hard moments that have happened, and I know there are more to come, but I will roll with it just as I have this and hope to come out on top. This is not the end of the world for me, even if it feels or felt like it in the moment. The sun will rise tomorrow, birds will chirp, and all will be well. Thanks to my therapist for that. Those 2 sentences have helped me immensely. Sorry this ended up being so long. I should really pick up journaling, maybe a blog or something. But thank you again to everyone who took the time to give me advice in the hardest time of my life. And thanks again if you read this. I genuinely appreciate it. It's hard to imagine a mom never wanting to see her baby again. Something must have broken inside your ex, and she will regret it immensely when she wakes up from the fog one day. It's great that you have wonderful parents who are with you and support you. Children grow up fast, so enjoy every moment with her. It is good to hear that you are doing well. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you. And yeah, like I said in my post, I don't understand and don't think I ever will, but it is beyond me to try to change her mind. I am very thankful for my parents and my friends. My ex-wife was just like yours. We had 5 kids. She didn't care about the kids and just wanted to be with her affair partner. I got full custody, though she didn't have her rights terminated. The custody order allowed her visitation to be agreed upon, but she never bothered trying. I moved about a year after the divorce across the country. The only time she ever saw the kids was when the kids visited with her parents, and even then she'd show up for half a day and go again. My kids are all adults now and they hate her. My youngest daughter was just 2 when my ex left. I'll never understand why she walked away from the kids without a care. But in the end, I didn't have to deal with her in co-parenting, so I guess it was a win. I'm sorry you had to go through that. From personal experience with only one child, it is world-shattering. I hope you are doing much better these days and your children as well. You can sue your ex for STDs and the child support. But if you just want her out, then enjoy yourself, OP. I thought about it for a long time, but decided I didn't want to go through a whole court fiasco about that. On top of the terminating rights and custody stuff, she wants nothing to do with us, so I'm giving her that in the end. It's better for my mental health. Now for the last update 15 months later. My post history sums up the utter hell I went through a while ago. Kinda just posting as a response to messages and as an update. Despite everything, I am well. I haven't logged into this account in a while as I almost completely forgot about it, but I saw through my email notifications that I had quite a few messages, so I popped in to check. Mostly people wanting updates regarding my ex and asking how I'm doing. Thank you, firstly, to all the kind strangers who sent very positive and uplifting messages. I apologize for not responding to everyone at the time. As far as my ex is concerned, it has been total silence. I stopped sending pictures and updates of my daughter a few months ago as they weren't responded to and I wasn't mandated to. Our custody case and her petition is still in limbo with the court system back in her state, so we are still under the original order from our divorce. I do not know what she's up to or what her personal life entails. Her parents still come for visits with my daughter and talk regularly with her, but as far as my ex goes, they are about as in the dark as I am. I wish her well. Yes, I still love Arizona. I have nice neighbors. My daughter has a lot of friends in daycare, and my parents are also doing great. I switched careers in November, took a little bit of a pay cut, but I'm home earlier, and I have a lot of very friendly coworkers. Our dog is doing well, and yes, she grew out of chewing. We actually adopted a cat in March of this year, and they've become great pals. And my daughter adores him. My daughter is thriving. She is smart, funny, loving, and creative. She loves animals, swimming, all things bluey, and she has recently developed a strong appreciation for Dolly Parton, and every song she sings LOL. Yes, I'm still in therapy, and I'm doing really well. I have accepted the past for what it is and mostly moved forward. It hasn't come easy, and I know there are going to be difficult conversations in the future, but right now things are good. I have been trying to put more effort into my physical health, and I have been testing out different hobbies that align with my schedule and give me something to do that I enjoy. I do not enjoy hiking or running. No, I'm not dating. I don't have the time or desire right now, and I am okay with that. Maybe one day, when I feel more stable and more comfortable introducing anyone into my daughter's life. But for right now, she needs stability more than I need a girlfriend. I think that about sums it up for anyone curious or checking in. Not much substance, but I appreciate my boring life these days, LOL. This post is pretty much a synopsis of my journal, but it feels nice to have it out somewhere for people to see. My situation sucked, and now it's better. A lot better. I hope anyone else going through dark times can make it out on top and relatively unscathed. And if anyone is currently going through dark times, please feel free to reach out. Last story. My wife hit me this morning. I decided to divorce her today. I, 40 male, never thought I'd be writing something like this. Today my wife, 38 female, and I had a huge argument. She was yelling at our 8-year-old daughter early in the morning. When I stepped in to protect her, my wife hit me in the back. It wasn't hard, no bruises, no blood, but it was enough. I've lived through emotional outbursts before, and I always convinced myself to endure, to rationalize, to forgive. But I've always told her and myself that physical violence would be the one line I would never accept. She crossed it today. I told her it was over. She is already taking her things. She said she won't stay because she doesn't want to live with conditions. I offered therapy, working on her anger, but she refused. My kids cried when she left, and I cried with them. It hurts like hell. It feels like all the good I did in this marriage got erased in a single blow. It hurts that she won't even apologize. She probably thinks she was justified. But I know I'm doing the right thing. For me, and for my kids. Even if she only lives 5 minutes away now, it feels like an ocean. Edit. About the reason she was yelling. My daughter hadn't cleaned her room and my wife was getting her ready for school. I was doing the dishes when I heard my daughter scream because she got hairspray in her eyes, and my wife started yelling at her much worse for wasting time instead of cleaning her room. My wife has had similar outbursts against me in the past, over things like a suit, coming back from the dry cleaner in a slightly different shade of gray, or the time the chairs would arrive at an event. I had consulted the time with her, but she said it was my fault because I sent her the message at 9 a.m., and she was at work so she would read it wrong. One of the worst was when our washing machine broke down, and I had to call a technician. She said I was useless. About the blow, she still tries to downplay it, saying it was only a slap, that she meant to hit our daughter, and that I shouldn't have taken my daughter's side or stood in her way. This didn't happen in a split second. I moved to shield my daughter, with my back to my wife, when I saw her raise her hand. She had more than enough time to stop, yet she chose to hit me. Kids shouldn't be around a mother who has outbursts of anger like that. It is so scary. The kids blame themselves for making mom angry. Thank you for protecting your daughter. A weight will be lifted off your shoulders when you are divorced. If somehow she gives you a sincere, heartfelt apology, maybe she would agree to counseling. But please continue to protect your kids. Protecting your kids was the right call. Their safety and emotional well-being come first, always. Growing up in a violent or chaotic environment messes with kids long-term. OP stopping it now is giving them a chance at a healthier future. Kids thrive when they know at least one parent will always put their needs first. OP, you've proven you're that parent.